Welcome back to the channel, people. KG is back. It is time for a brand new video for the second time today. If you're watching on the same day, give you a two for one. We're going to do the match preview today for Oxford United versus Leeds United ahead of Good Friday. Big game for obvious reasons. You know, we're getting so close now, 4 games to go, huge away day. We've seen Sheffield United slip up there. Can Leeds United avoid that same fate? I believe we can, and I'll get into why. I'm also going to throw in a little lineup, shall we say, wild card, what I would possibly do on Friday, which I know won't happen, but it's something interesting. I'd like to get your thoughts on it too. Before I get into the video, please like the video and, of course, subscribe to the channel. Thank you to Parrot House and Russ for super thanks on the last video. Big up to you for that support. It really does mean a lot. And yeah, we're going to get into it. And plus, we're getting a good fee for Rasmus Kristensen. So all good, people, all good news, including this as well. Danny Parker confirmed today that Joe Rothwell will definitely miss Oxford, but we hope to get him back for Bristol City. But Dan James could be back for Monday, which is absolutely huge. They're saying that he's saying that there's a chance that he could play on Friday. It's going to be a late decision, but I would just err on the side of caution with that one. I prefer, we've got enough options in the team, and with the lineup I'm going to give you, it shows you just the options that we do possess. I would leave him out if there's any doubt that he can't go. If you can wait until Monday, awesome. Bring him back for the Ellen Road game. But I would play caution with Dan James and his fitness. But it's good news for me. I thought that DJ could have been out for a little bit longer, but it looks like we could get him back sooner rather than later. Another thing he was talking about was Gary Rowett, who's the Oxford manager. He knows how to set his teams up against the ball. 3 of the last 5 opponents didn't score. The challenge is big. It's a tough place to go at this stage of the season. We travel respectful, but not fearful, which I thought was a pretty good line, actually. That's a pretty good bar. And he's right. Oxford, I mean, they are still trying to confirm, safety. The 48 points away from the 42 points down the bottom, but they've won 3 and 5, including that one against Sheffield United. So they're in decent form, but we should have the remedy for that. I always say that we should be the anomaly. No different this Friday. But look, it's going to be a tough game. They're a physical side, long throws, long balls. Our goalkeeper, defense are all going to have to be at it. It's going to be a difficult game, but I still expect us to get those points, people. And he was also asked about this, which I thought was a really strange question in 2025. He was asked about, because Burnley and Sheffield United play it before us on the day. Let me just get that on the screen. Sheffield United, Burnley play away at Watford at 3 o'clock. Sheffield United play at home against Cardiff. And then, of course, we go to Oxford later that evening. He was asked about, is he going to try and shield the players from the result and everything? I'm like, wait a minute, unless this guy's taking people's phones, players are going to know, you know what I mean? That, no TVs, no phones. What is this, like a cult? No, I mean, it was just a silly thing. And Danny Farkas said as much, they're grown adults. And the thing he said as well, you need the right mentality. If my players crack because of other results, we've lost already, which again, he spoke facts with that one. No arguments against it. He's absolutely right. You can't let other results affect you. And it could even go the other way. Say Burnley win and say Sheffield United don't. They could feel even more pressure because Sheffield United didn't do what they need to do. So now the pressure is going to be all on us to get a positive result later that evening. So regardless of whatever happens before, you concentrate on your own results, which is what essentially Farkas said today, and you go from there. Something else which isn't covered, but he was asked about Carl Darlow and just his influence. And does Danny Farkas feel more, the calmness through the players and the fans in the stadium? Now, he didn't address the fans in the stadium. I did notice that with the answer, but he did say that Carl Darlow is an experienced hand. He always knew that he'd have confidence in him. He hadn't played in the league for a while, no fault of his own, but then he has to find a rhythm with that, and it's not easy for a goalkeeper. But he's come in and he's been solid where he needs to. He's caught crosses where he had to. He hasn't had much to do, but everything that he's done well, and I agree with that. Apart from that one where he put his hands outside the box, but hey, everyone can have a crazy moment. I think he's just been what we've needed. That's it. Just normal goaltending. That's it. Normal, not outstanding, not out of this world, just normal goaltending for us at this level is absolutely, that's all we ever needed. And, it's a shame it's come so late, but it's here now. And it's come at a time now where we're on the cusp of something great, people, man. We could literally be promoted by Monday. But look, let's concentrate on this game first. And look, this is what I would do for this game. And I don't think it's that much of a wild card, but I think because we don't see it, that maybe it is. I would go obviously with the usual back five, but what I will say with Junior Firpo, please be more switched on defensively in this one. You can't do what you did against Preston in this game. Oxford will try and exploit that. He needs to be switched on defensively as well as doing his duties going forward. Roden, as we've mentioned before on other videos, just an absolute rock at the back. They're going to be essential. Ampadu, Roden, everyone's going to be essential when Oxford United go forward because they do love the long throw game as well. Tanaka as well. I want a little bit more from him in this game. I think between him and Gruev's actually been the more progressive midfielder. Not sure, Tanaka's, if we're being real, had a little bit of a shaky run of form over the last few games. I want him to be back to his best. Heat maps don't impress me, people. I've seen the heat maps on the official account. That don't impress me. I know what I've seen, and I want a little bit more from Tanaka because I know he's capable, and that's the main thing. Now, something I would do with the front four, and it's good, it's a bit different, but let me see what you're thinking. Always an advert, always an advert. But look, how does that look to you? How does that look? Is that too much or what? Because I want a little something different. Let me just try and get rid of this ad here. Get off there. Get off. Get off. Right, Isaac Schmidt on the right. And the reason why I'm going with that and Nanto in the 10, because we're going to need a little bit more physicality in there. And Nanto is definitely a physical player. And all this stuff about Nanto doesn't track back as much as Aronson. That may be true, but he's going to have more of an impact when he's going in for tackles and when he's trying to make his presence known. He'll probably pick up a yellow card in that spot as well. But he's also got the ability to go forward and cause damage. Just because it didn't work in one other game where he started in 10 doesn't mean it's not going to work in, because it was working at the start of the season, people, when he was in the 10 and Ramazani was on the left. It was working like a treat. So Isaac Schmidt from the start for me would be a wild card, and it would be something a bit unexpected for Oxford. And with the quick turnaround in games, it gives Dan James a chance to recover. I would put Ramazani there, but we know that's probably not going to happen. So what are you saying, people? Because I like what I've seen from Isaac Schmidt playing down the wing. I like what I've seen, and I would trust him with a start. Let me know what you think in the comments. Peru, I was happy with his game against Preston. The only thing that was missing, well, the most important thing that was missing was a finish. I think he can get back to it against Oxford United. I do. And Solomon, that's automatic for me. Manor Solomon is a difference maker at this level. And with all that being said, in terms of that, I'm going to go, I think it's going to be a tight game, but I'm going to go with a 2-0 Leeds victory. Please let me know your thoughts in the comments. And just a bit of news here on transfers, and its actual completed one. Eintracht Frankfurt have agreed a deal to complete the permanent signing of Rasmus Kristensen from Leeds United on June 1st. So that is now done and dusted, people. We know that's been in the works, and Frankfurt have been, wanting to get this deal completed. Well, it is done now. Leeds sources said the transfer could be worth up to 7.7 million, whilst Frankfurt sources said the fee will be 5.1 million, guaranteed with potential add-ons. Either way, though, it's an absolute win for me, and because of accounting, I'm not going to get into it on this video, people. I've said it in a previous one to do with Rasmus, so I explained it in another one. But we're not actually going to lose with this one. I know we paid 10 million for him, but because of we paid it over a course of a contract and this and that, PSR and all that stuff, we're not actually going to make a loss on this one, which I find amazing with the way that it worked out for him here. But look, I'm gonna be probably seeing him tomorrow against Tottenham when we watch that. Well, if we watch that one, Europa League, I'll be watching it, not doing a watch long. Let me clear that up. But yeah, it's one of those where it just did not work out for him at Leeds. It was not a good fit. He's obviously found a nice home at Frankfurt, who are on the cusp of Champions League football as well, by the way. So good luck to him. You know what I mean? Didn't find anything wrong with him personality-wise, just on the pitch. He was just not a fit for the Premier League. And when you're calling for Luke Ayling to start games again, you're doing a bad job. So listen, good for Leeds to get this one done. Next one for me is Jack Harrison. I think Elan Meslier is already on his way out from, things you hear. But yeah, Jack Harrison, we need to sort that one soon, whether that's MLS or wherever it is. Ship those ones out because they won't be needed next season regardless. Okay, so yeah, listen, people, good news about Rasmus Kristensen. But look, people, that is the preview. If I've missed anything, no, I haven't. That is the preview, and I've got the video from earlier today up in one of these two corners. In the other corner will be the match reaction. So if you want to join me live after the game on Friday and discuss the result, click the link, click the reminder, like the video, and you can join me and discuss it then. Guys, see you in the next video, people. Peace out. Like the video before you go.